What's up, Super Squad? Today I'm introducing something called rule sets. This dramatically helps set up and manage process rules because it allows entry and exit criteria. So it's a common set of criteria that all your process rules will have. I'm telling you, this already saved me hours of time in managing processes in Super. Pumped to get it to y'all. I'm going to pass it over to Medias, show you how it works. Super duper feature update.
It's super duper duper.
Process rule sets.
What's up, everybody? Let's talk about process rule sets. Process rule sets are a new feature that we've introduced that allows you to group together process rules and share the criteria that apply to each one of those rules inside of it. So instead of having to replicate for every rule that you want to define and add a tag and then add all of those rules, add that logic to each rule so that they're all being applied the same, you can actually create a rule set and then add rules to that rule set. And then within that rule set, you define the kind of global logic that will be applied to each rule within it. All right, so let's go through how you actually create one of these. All right, creating a process rule set, you can now create them at the top. So there's this create button here in the process rules page where you can create a rule set. And then once you hit that button, a modal will open, you give it a name, description, and then the normal, just got to pick, what provider, what object type. So let's pick contact. And then you can either save and close here and be redirected to the new rule set page and build it out there, or you can just inline here, start to build it out. So I'm going to give it some entry criteria, and let's just say for this rule set over contacts, I only want this rule set to apply to contacts with first name of Matt. Or Matthew, and then I'll hit update here, and then I'm going to define, all right, when I actually don't want this rule set to apply to, I have a custom attribute, let's see, I think, yeah, all right, so if the contact is cool, then actually I don't want them to be in this rule set, so all right, so that's my entry and exit criteria that will be globally applied to any rules within it. So now I'm going to go and add the rules. All right, so any rules that I add here will be removed from any process board association. So you can't add individual rules to process boards. What you do is you add the rules into a rule set, and then you add that single rule set with all those rules in it into a process board. All right, so now I'm going to add some associated deals. Let's add new company. All right, so now I have all these rules in here, and I'm gonna hit save and close, and then it'll redirect me to my new rule set. All right, so this is the rule set page. You can visualize the rule set from left to right. You see the entry criteria that gets applied. You can make changes to that here. You can also modify the exit criteria, and then you can modify the rules within the rule set in a couple of different ways. You can do it here by adding more rules in this modal. You can also create a new rule from scratch, and it'll just be automatically added to this rule set. You can modify and edit any of the rules within this rule set. Once you add a rule to a rule set, you will no longer see it in this rules page. This top level rules page will only have rule sets and rules that aren't inside them. When you have a rule set that already exists here, you can actually select some common rules and just add them, map them directly to a rule set. And you can click confirm and actually take those rules and just throw them into the rule set for you. The normal process for adding rules to process boards, you can now do the same type of thing for adding a rule set to a process board. So you would come in here, go to process rules, manage rules. You can change now to process rule set, and then select a rule set that you can add an association for. Everything works as normal. Enjoy.